and I'm hoping to give you guys some help on how to get your truth finished, because as you may have heard, truth is now available as of today on June 11th. So in order to get the quest for truth, the first thing you have to do is complete this week's menagerie. How you get to the menagerie is you just pull up the Nessus map, and then there you go, as you can see on screen. Just go by where the Leviathan World Eater of Worlds thing is at, and there's the menagerie. All you gotta do to get the quest is beat the menagerie. This week is an ogre instead of the Vex from last week. This week's the ogre. How you beat the ogre is pretty easy. It's not too bad. Pretty much kill ads. The ads drop orbs. Pick up an orb, throw the orb at the ogre, beat the ogre to death with orbs, and boom, his shield comes down, and then you can do all your damage. And then you just rinse and repeat until you defeat that ogre. Then you get to the quest for truth, which is called a scrap of paper. The next thing you have to do is go and talk to Petra in the Dreaming City. Once you talk to Petra, she'll tell you to go do the Ascendant challenge. And the Ascendant challenge this week is behind the Divalian Mist. So let's see here, pull it up real quick on the screen for all y'all. So if you spawn in here on the Divalian Mist, you see that little Lost Sector symbol right there, Bay of Drowned Wishes. So you just go directly behind you. So you spawn in, do a 180, run behind you, follow it around, and your Lost Sector little portal thing, I believe, should be right about here where the cursor is at. It's kind of hard to guess on the screen, but it should be right around there. All you gotta do is pop that tincture, stick to the right, and eventually you'll see the portal, beat that Lost Sector, and then you get to go on to the next step for truth. This is where it gets rather lengthy and complicated. It's not super complicated, but it's not all the parts are very easy to get if you haven't done them before. So they all have two different parts to them. So how this quest works is once you complete the Ascendant challenge, you are then given 4 map pieces that you have to find. Once you find a map piece, there's some more stuff you have to do to decode that map piece. Once you've done that, found the map piece, then decode for each of the map pieces, then you get to do a strike and you have the truth. So let's just kind of break down the pieces a little bit and where they are at. One of them speaks about a chest that is in the cistern. This chest is on Nessus, kind of by Warner 44, so I'm going to show you guys how you get there. So you spawn into Watcher's Grave, hop on your Sparrow, and we're going to go to the other side, the opposite side of the bars. You can use your Sparrow, run, whatever, it doesn't really matter. Come on up underneath it. We're going to come against this area right over there. You can see where all those Vex are chilling out at. That is where you go. Once you get to here, pop a tincture. So that way you can get to the Ascendant challenge little jump puzzle. So once you are Ascendant, if you stand right about here, looking towards the barge, the chest should spawn up in I guess not the chest, but the little Ascendant plane platform thing should spawn up right around where I'm kind of shooting at in this little area. Just follow them up, and then boom, there you go. You got the chest, and there's your first map piece you have to decode. We'll get into the decoding later. So then the other thing you have to access, there's 2 more, or technically 3 more, but one of them might be kind of glitched out, and so if you don't do this today, I'm not sure if it will stay like this. The other one you have to do is we go to the Thieves' Landing of the Tangled Shore, and we're going to go to the Hall of the Exalted. So I'm just going to show you real quick on the map. So where we are going is going to be just kind of like the Mindbender strike, only you have to get there from patrol, because we're going to be going over to the Jetsam, the Jetsam where all the Hive are at. That place. That place. And so we got to clear out a room of ads, and that would give you the next chest piece. And so I'm just going to show you here real quick how we get to it once we get loaded into the Tangled Shore. Hopefully you guys are all excited about the truth as I am. This thing was a beast in Destiny 1. It had insane tracking. It would that thing would whip around walls and then out pillars to get you. I felt like it was pretty nuts. Almost do 180 sometimes if if you're in trials. That was used all the time to go and waste folks from way off. See here, I'm just kind of looking real quick through the other steps. Oh, then the other step just drops from a nightfall, so we compare that step in with one of the decodings. And then the fourth step that I told you is kind of glitched out today on June 11. I'm assuming it's glitched out because when you talk to Petra, once you have activated this quest and everything, I noticed that I had 3 steps done. And I was like, where is the fourth? There's not a hint for the fourth. I'm not sure what's going on. Well, Petra had the 4th step, and it was kill 100 hive in Tangled Shore, so you go to the jet zone. So if you plan this all out right, maybe when you go to the Tangled Shore before you take off to Nessus, maybe you can grab that step from her under the abandoned quests. That's why I'm not sure if it's glitched out, because I never deleted it, so I'm not sure why it'd be under the abandoned quest steps, but it was. So maybe that's how it's supposed to be. I don't know. Anyways, here we go. Going to jet zone to get the map piece from the Hall of the Exalted. So spawn in, just take a left, and we spawn into Thieves Landing. Actually, I should specify Thieves Landing. There you go. Now you see jet zone of Saturn. Come up towards the big crashed hive ship. It's kind of nice and a little pretty. Take it right into one on that second level, not to the very top one. I think there's one above this. We're going to the way that I went in, which I believe is the second. Keep on following this lovely thing around. There you go. See, now we're in the Hall of the Exalted. I'll show you guys the room of ads you have to clear out. So there will be a boss-like ogre. Not super hard to kill. My teammates and I, Agent Igneous, and we took him out with 2 rockets, I think is all it took. It was pretty fast. So you could definitely do it by yourself. You could probably do almost all of this by yourself, to be honest with you, especially if you're someone who is down to solo Nightfalls. But here you go. So it'd be in this room. How you know the quest is active is there's below that shrieker. You can see that shrieker's at. Below that shrieker would be a big old ogre. And so when you kill that ogre, that's when you would get to the next step. Alright. For decoding these various steps, one of them is to clear 3 Nightfalls with 100 handicap. This is where you can kind of pair it, because one of the other steps does not drop. One of the map pieces doesn't drop unless you do a Nightfall. So you can kind of do a 2-for-1 when you're decoding the step that has a Nightfall in it. That Nightfall step requires you to do, or decoding requires you to do 3 Nightfalls and 60 rocket final blows. So I would suggest having modifiers. You have to have 100 handicap, by the way. You have to have 100 handicap. It does say that in the quest, but if you don't read it carefully, you might miss it. So you do have to have 100 handicap for your Nightfall. So I would suggest for modifiers, doing heavyweight, so that way your rockets do more damage, and then whatever burn for the rocket of your choice. So if you prefer something like Warcliffe Coil, then do Arc Burn. If you prefer or want to use your Bad Omens, then do Void Burn. You guys get the gist of it. And so then for the rocket kills, I would maybe just do Hallowed's Lair. If you do 1 or 2 Hallowed's Lairs, you could probably finish the whole thing. And a fun little trick with Hallowed's Lair, because you have access to the patrol area, you could do all your rocket kills in patrol and use the rally flags. You could go into lost sectors and they count, because I tested it out when I was getting my truth earlier today. So that's kind of another thing you could do with Hallowed Lair, is you could pick it so you can just kind of run around the area and get more kills outside of even just that strike, and it still counts for the strike. Let's see here. Other steps for decoding. One of them is you have to do the downed Corsair dealio. So how you get the downed Corsair, you might have noticed in the past, running around the Dreaming City, every once in a while you would get one of these things, Corsair Down, to drop the little triangles that drop when you're playing in the field, and you're like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do with this. Well, today we have found out. Well, at least I found out. I think you could do this before, but now there's more of a point to it. So you get your Corsair Down. Then you need to make sure once you have that you have picked up the mission. Let's see here, Broken Courier. Now, when I was farming just to get that step, so I could show you guys in this video, I did not get the Corsair Down step to drop nearly very quickly until I had gotten the Broken Courier step. I killed a 20-ish Scorn, because you have to kill Scorn, to get the Corsair Down, and it didn't drop. As soon as I picked up Broken Courier, I killed like 5 or 10 Scorns, and the Broken Courier or the Corsair Down step dropped, so that could be a thing for you. So probably want to get the Broken Courier first. Alright, then you do the mission Broken Courier, and I'm looking right now at the step. You can see that it is showing up as purple, and I'm thinking that is because I did that Corsair or Broken Courier mission earlier on a different character, because this is more account based as opposed to character. Your step Corsair Down is showing white, like right now you can see when it's highlighted it shows purple. When it's white you can't finish this whole step, but when it's purple you can. So now that we're looking at this, so that we have done the Courier mission and you have turned your Corsair Down to being purple when you look at it, read the description, because they give you a hint about what lost sector you have to go to in order to get your badge that you have to turn in. And so you can see it reads, the fuel comm device crackles weakly. You can just hear an encoded SOS repeating something about a spine and mist. So I haven't done this one specifically yet, but I know there's only 3 lost sectors in the Dreaming City. The one I did it on had one of the words, I think I want to say it wrong, but it's like Ascendant or something like that. And I knew that was the lost sector that's beneath Petra. My teammate, he had one that had chamber in it, and so we went to the Chamber of Starlight. So I would assume and Mist is referring to the Divalian Mist, where you have the lost sector that is right behind it, and it's kind of misty over there. So that's where this one would be, is you would just go do the lost sector, and that's behind the Divalian Mist, and as you're clearing it, just look for a Corsair that is down on the ground, either knocked out or dead. I don't know which, just assume knocked out, because you all like the Corsairs. And then you get to inspect that Corsair. Once you do that, a bunch of Scorn will spawn in, and one of them will be a yellow boss type dude. Kill that, and then it drops another little triangle thing that you can pick up, and it turns your Corsair Down into a badge. Now, where do you turn that badge in? Because you have to turn in the badge in order to finish that decoding of the map. I'll just kind of show you generically where it's at here by pulling up the map of the Dreaming City. So you find Divalian Mist. Probably the easiest one to find would be in the Divalian Mist. So before the Blinding Well, so if you're looking from the Blinding Well back towards the Divalian Mist, how there's this cave thing and there's a couple of Corsairs standing in there, go to that outpost and go to the Corsair that's standing around not looking like it's doing a whole lot of anything, and turn in your badge to that Corsair, and you finish the map, that map decoding. And so there you go. That's the most complicated part, to make sure that you do that Corsair mission in order to turn your white Corsair Down into purple. Remember, do Broken Courier to turn your white Corsair Down into a purple one. And then you're all good to go. And that really is about it as far as how you get that map leveled up. We went over the 4 pieces and then the 3 decodings, because I don't know if it was a glitch or not, but I had killing 100 Hive in the Tangled Shore as my as one of my abandoned quest steps for some reason. So the last thing you have to do once you have all those 4 parts turned in is it's going to have you go to the Warden of Nothing. It doesn't have to be a specific a quest step where it's a badge in the middle of the map. You can just activate it from where you would normally find it on your screen, like I just did. and you have to find 5 relics while Ascendant. So you have to do this whole strike Ascendant, and at the very end, it'll let you get the chest, and you will find truth. I want to show you where the 5 relics are at that activate the platforms, so that way you can get to the chest. And then the video will be over because you will have truth. While we're traveling in, let's just look at the stats here real quick for truth, so that way you guys have a better idea of what you're trying to get. So this says this prototype or this weapon's rockets have tracking, locking on targets, and aiming down sights. What I want to test out a little bit is that in Destiny 1, it said aggressive tracking. It didn't just say it was tracking, it said aggressive tracking. So I'm curious to see if this has a lot more tracking than other tracking rockets, or if you're just kind of filling up an exotic slot with something that's, you could use a bellowing giant or some other legendary with tracking on it, and they would kind of be the same thing. Only this doesn't have cluster bombs. Has grenades and horseshoes, which I do believe is a D1 only perk until now. I haven't seen a rocket have grenade and horseshoes on it before, so that might be a bit setting out to close. So here we are. Here's all the locations for the relics. So you spawn in. That guy I just jumped over is probably using a tincture. You could go ahead and pop one of those.
Well, don't let me stop you.
And you want to go for speed, because you do, well, 30 minutes is plenty of time to get all the way through this into the end. You would probably rather not use all 30 minutes and be cutting things really close.
Warden.
Get here, kill the ads, or just however you're going to do it. Big thing to kill is that Minotaur guy right there.
When the warden left the prison.
And then your relic, you can see on screen, right here. That's where the first relic is at. Continue progressing through the mission. They're all relatively easy to spot.
I tried to shut down the rail system to get us a clear path out.
They weren't super hard for me to find. I'm sure you guys will have to find, especially since you can see it in video, where in the strike they are located. The idea with the relics is that they activate each platform we have to jump to in the Ascendant plane at the end that leads up to where the chest is at. So that's why you want to make sure you grab these things. Here, you do not have to be Ascendant in order to pick them up, but you definitely have to be Ascendant by the end of the mission in order to activate the chest so you can hop on the planes or whatever. So here we go. That's where the second one was at. It was right behind that pike in that corner. The very last pike right inside. The third one is coming up before too long. Right about here when the train goes by. There we go. You can kind of see we got that first Minotaur. He's just chilling up there. Hop up where that Minotaur was at. Look behind you and you can see that relic right there. So you jump up the rail type thing. Grab it. This one, and then there you go. There's 3. This one will be a little bit trickier to spot. You probably won't see it if you weren't looking for it. But that's alright. That's why I'm trying to do this video for y'all. Oh, random run train. Oh, right. The fourth one is going to be up before too long. Yeah, nope. These trains are nuts. They're pretty annoying to me. Really close to where the fourth one was at. So we see where that Joe Zepper dude is at.
Next up is a cell block for the Vex.
To this hallway, and there it is, sitting on top of those pipes, right here on the right.
I've been watching them from out here.
Yeah, it says an Ascendant platform has appeared. Alright, so it said all platforms are revealed. Someone must have grabbed there's more than 5 that are in this map. There's only 5 that I found really quickly. Someone must have grabbed one of the ones I was not aware of for sure where it was at. But I'll show you guys where this 5th one will be. So that way you can at least have the video bringing up for sure to the 5th one. That way you're definitely good since someone grabbed one that I am not aware of where it is. Hopefully someone, or Jola Viper dude comes up here soon and gets some resin so we can get this video going. There we go. Thank you, good sir. Alright, so here's where the 5th one will be if you're going this one. So we're going after you right in that corner. As you can see, since you got all 5, the relic is not there, so it would be the 5th one. Now all you gotta do is finish the mission as normal. Now, the way what's gonna happen is when you get to the boss fight, you have 30 seconds since you know you melt the boss down in the chest spawns, and instead of having 30 seconds, you will have 90 as long as you're Ascendant and you've gotten all 5 of the relics. Once you have the 90 seconds, look to the area where you first saw the servitor when he was in his blue shield before he teleported to the arena, and you will see some Ascendant plane appear, and he just follows around towards the right, and there's your chest, and that's how you get the chest. Truth drops for you, and bingo, bango, bongo, you have gotten yourself another Destiny 1 gun with the truth. I hope this video was really helpful to all of you guys, and that you appreciate it. If there's anything I could do to help make it a little bit more clear or understandable, please let me know. Otherwise, thank you guys all so much for watching. If you did find this to be helpful, please give it a like, and if you would subscribe to my channel if you want to see more content like this, that would be fantastic. But otherwise, thank you guys all so much for watching. Have a great week and happy grinding.